Hello everybody and welcome to episode 4 of the Clueless Collective podcast. This episode is called Gaming Overload and you'll see why in a second. Would you like to introduce yourself, Dawn?
I'm Dawn. That was the best introduction ever.
That's all you could come up with.
I play games on the internet sometimes.
And she's a girl.
And I'm a girl.
That's
there you go.
Enough. Yeah. And Revan.
Hi, I'm Revan. I also sometimes do video games on the internet.
But he's not a girl.
But I'm not a girl.
There's a slight difference there, yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, so we've got a lot to show you guys today, and we have a weird camera bug there. There we go. Okay, cool. It's all sorted now.
Yay.
Yeah. So we got a lot to talk about today. More importantly, we have a game to give away tonight, so that's going to be pretty sweet. So make sure you stick around in the chat for that. The first thing on the list is, you can probably guess what it is. We're going to be talking about the wonderful game of Overwatch. So so a lot happened this week with Overwatch.
So much.
So we had a new patch be announced that's going to be going live pretty soon with a bunch of hero reworks. We had a new hero released. Anna. Yes, Anna.
The mother of Farah.
Yes, she is.
Which,
it's pretty cool.
So the fan
I don't
theories
know.
are right.
Yeah, loads of fan theories.
Lizard people.
But what are your thoughts on Anna and Ash? Because I know you've played her.
I have actually played Anna. So I'll put the trailer for you guys now, so you guys can have a look at the game, or at least have a look at the trailer Blizzard released. So Anna is really cool in the sense that she is a supportish sniper. She looks really cool, but her job isn't to kill people; it's to keep people alive. And she has a cool sniper rifle where she can both shoot enemies and she can heal friendlies by shooting at a friendly target. She has a cool grenade that both boosts healings on friendly and prevents healing on enemies, which is crazy useful. And then she has a sleeper dart that puts people to sleep, which is really useful. And then her ultimate is a nano boost, where she injects a character with nanobots, and it increases their damage output. It reduces the amount of damage they take, and it gives them a speed boost. All in one freaking ult, which is insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I have some gameplay as well that we'll show as well. But
show that off.
It's really, really ridiculous.
Yeah, you can definitely see that she would be a main kind of hero for any sort of competitive team.
Yeah.
Like you said, you mentioned it before, that it's very much like TF2. You've got a similar hero in TF2.
Well, yeah, you have certain weapons in TF2 that work a similar way. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, I have played her very, very briefly. I've watched other people play her.
Yeah.
She dies easily.
She does.
Well, I think as many they didn't know how to use her.
She's very strong, so she's going to need to be counted a lot.
Yeah, which is good. But as soon as you get that, if you kind of hit a tank with it,
for a
final push, something like that, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's quite insane. When the patch drops, I think the brawl they're choosing for it is it's literally you can pick between all of the tanks and Anna, and I in this gameplay as well, we were playing where it was 5 Annas and a Revanheart generally, and buffing a Revanheart was insane. He could kill pretty much anyone with 3 shots. 3 swings and anyone was dead.
It was literally I was watching this and he did hammer down and then went killed the whole team in one swipe.
Yeah.
Just battered them out the way.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That is crazy.
It was insane. But, it looks like it could use with a little bit of balancing, but I'm sure they'll tweak it over the next coming week or so, because we don't actually know when she's going like live. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye out for. But she looks really cool, you know. So
I can't wait to see her in that sort of competitive, other, in the proper game, I guess.
Yeah, I'm curious if she'll be picked. I don't actually know if she'll be viable and competitive, at least at the beginning, because I think she's too squishy to be useful. I think it's a bit like the whole Lucio Mercy combo. I don't think she's good enough on her own to be the only support for a team. I think it really relies on, having her and a support.
It depends though, because she's snipe healing. Like, Mercy has to get very close in order to do effective healing with people, but in the right map, she could sit up somewhere up top and just keep healing people. So she could be really strong on some maps.
Yeah, that's very true.
As long as she finds a good spot.
That's very true. I think it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think it will be okay. I think she'll do well, but they'll probably like nerf her, like they did with McCree. Because McCree was obviously like one of the heroes of choice, and then they nerfed the hell out of him. So yeah,
rightly deserved.
Yeah, that's true.
As well as think going back to the Overwatch stuff, the gameplay wise, the overtime has been changed quite a lot. So if the match goes on for more than 20 seconds, the fuse will now start to burn down more quickly.
Yeah.
So that is quite an interesting thing, as well as players now respawn more slowly during overtime.
Yeah, that's right.
And increase spawn time by 20 seconds. And that's a great idea, because I think we both have games where it's been really tight. We've had Overwatch for about 5 minutes or something.
Yeah. It happens quite a lot on King of the Hill maps, where it's quite close to spawns, and like everyone just throws themselves like onto the point, and then like it's constant back and forth, which is cool. But
when you've done that more than like twice in like one session, I mean, you'll be a bit annoyed by that, but that's quite cool. And other hero balances as well. Probably notably, D.Va's been changed a lot.
Yes, she has.
I mean, the defensive matrix is now the cooldown's been decreased from 10 seconds to 1 second.
Yeah, so, they've modified it to be a bit like Pharah's like hover. So she can hover by like holding the spacebar. They've kind of done it the same with D.Va's matrix now. So what happens is she can use just as much as she needs. So if there's like one rocket flying towards you, you can just press the button for just the time that rocket comes, and then you can let it go, and it will refill over time. Which is cool.
So, I like the fact that they've changed that. We can now use D.Va as a tank a lot more successfully.
She never felt like a tank to me.
No, definitely not.
She has that thing up for like 3 seconds, was it?
Yeah.
And then she's like, normal health as you'd expect, basically.
Completely
vulnerable. So, but I really like her. I just didn't play her that much because she just wasn't a tank. She was great at pushing people off ledges and like just getting in people's faces, but not a tank.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's because she always felt like when I was playing her, like that defense matrix was like not really an ability. It was more of like a catch to like save yourself if you were in like really deep trouble. And so I think this is going to be better because it will make her more useful. She'll actually be able to help out and contribute, and she won't be the worst tank in the listing now. Because that's effectively what she was. No one would pick her because she just wasn't useful. She was a meat shield, and that was it. Like, you compare her to, like, a Roadhog, who could literally tank anything, but the amount of damage he was putting out just meant that he was overall a better choice than D.Va, in pretty much every situation.
I mean, people say, oh yeah, she's basically got 2 health pools, because when she jumps out of the mech, she's then got another health pool. But as soon as you jump out, you're so vulnerable that you're basically a ranged character. You just have to go and hide again, so...
Yeah.
It's interesting, but...
They've also changed Mercy as well, and a lot of people are not happy about that. So Mercy's damage boost has been changed from 30% to 50%, which is the equivalent of Discord Orb, increase in damage.
Wow.
But on Mercy's
constant Discord Orb.
Pretty much. If you, like, combo a Mercy and a Farah, it's basically like it's ridiculous. Like, imagine one Justice, like you have one just above everybody with a Mercy right behind you, and everyone's gonna be dead.
Justice.
We better be trying that.
Yeah. It's gonna happen. Like people in the competitive like Overwatch community are just like, this is bad. Like, please stop it. Change it back. But yeah. On to other FPS news. Yeah. Now we're gonna be talking about Battlefield 1. So.
Yes.
So you'll remember that Battlefield 1 we covered when we did the E3 episode. We also covered it the week after as well to like summarize what we saw. This time, this actually happened last week, but we didn't get around to covering it. It was very like hush hush about what the game actually looked like from a player's perspective instead of like a production thing. Because the E3, while it was gameplay, it was specifically tailored to look good, you know. And so some people got access to the closed beta. And what ended up happening was a young kid who I believe was like encouraged by their parent or something, streamed some closed beta footage, which is very, very, very against the NDA that you sign. And what ended up happening is while he was playing the closed beta footage and live streaming it, his account got banned midstream, which was totally deserved because he was breaking, you know, the NDA. He streamed closed beta footage when he definitely shouldn't have been. But like, it was just funny because like so many people were basically saying, you know, like, oh, you know, he's a kid, he doesn't know what he's doing. But then his parent was in the background telling him, you know, like to end the stream and stuff. Ooh. So his parent obviously knew what they were doing was a bad thing because he was there saying, you know, it's a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then
I wonder if the parents were a bit.
Yeah.
On it.
Well, they probably were. You know, because like streaming closed beta footage of any game is like easily a good way to get views on something. You know.
Oh god, yeah.
Like if you're trying to bring attention to a channel, it's like free money.
How old was the kid?
It must have been like 14 at the most.
He's probably capable of setting up a Twitch stream on his own. I was thinking if he was like 10 or something.
Well, the thing is, he sounds really young in the video. Well, I'll link the video when I put the VOD up on YouTube as well, so you guys can actually see the video of it happening, so you can make that judgment for yourself. But he doesn't seem like crazy old. Like, you know, he sounds really young. But you know, it's Battlefield. Any FPS game is going to encourage a young audience. But like, it was funny watching his account get closed like midstream because it doesn't officially say like your account has been banned, but the game went black, and then every time he tried to log in, it would have an error message. But like the error message changed over the course of like 2 or 3 minutes. But that happened. The worst part is that the open the open beta kind of went live. Like I think it was like last week. And so there was a week of open beta. Like if he had waited until now, he would have just been able to stream that, and it would have been fine because it's alpha footage. So like, all he would have had to do is wait. But they just wanted to stream that closed beta footage, and they got caught. You know.
Yeah, good.
You sign an agreement.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is,
so
like, go on.
I was going to ask you, like, have you seen any of the footage of Battlefield?
I have, yeah. I watched. I think it was Hat Films play a bit of it. And it looks really nice. It looks just as good as I thought it was gonna be. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
Again, I really can't wait to play that game.
It's gorgeous. Like just looking at the English countryside is like, oh, this is real life.
Hang on, they're not English. It's French.
Well, French countryside, same thing.
English countryside.
Yeah, Well, we owned France back then, basically. So,
true. We did own.
You know, technically,
Casus Belli on it. Yeah.
We owned everything. We used to have an empire. Used to.
Still do.
Yeah, we do. What's left of it? I'm gonna go cry in the corner now. But yeah, so that was cool. So I really like the look of it. It's gorgeous. Like, I'm gonna be all over that game when it comes out.
Like, I wouldn't normally play Battlefield, but how it's been done and like that period of history I really like as well. So I'll definitely play it.
Yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to it. All right, next up on the list is everyone's favorite. Everyone's been talking about Pokemon Go. Yeah.
Pokemon Go.
That was pretty good.
That was awesome.
That's not bad, actually.
That's actually scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I am the Pikachu.
You are the Pikachu
after I caught one this morning.
Yeah. So, if you didn't know, today was a very special day for us British people because Pokemon Go officially released this morning. So everyone was going crazy, and Dawn finally got Pokemon Go, and it was pretty good. We actually went out on a little pokey walk today. We went for a nice walk in the sun, and Dawn, you caught a couple,
lots of things. Yeah, my first was a Pikachu because we did the Easter egg where you walk away 5 times from the starters until you get a Pikachu, and then I got a few other things. And you keep seeing people walking around with like their heads down in their phone. You're like, are you playing Pokemon Go? Or are you
have
texting?
To kind of know.
And like you kind of look at people's phones and try and tell. But yeah, we looked super weird because we just like stopped walking suddenly when our phone vibrated, and then everyone else was just like, okay, what are these weirdos doing?
It was really cool. Yeah. Like there was one time just as we were on our way back from catching a bunch of Pokemon, because we found like a really nice route where it's like a little like circuit where we can like walk back on ourselves on a different road, and it was really nice. As we were walking back, we were walking past a gym, because there's a gym like really close to where we are, and we saw someone sit down at the bench looking at their phones, and I was totally like, he's a Pokemon Go player. I know his game. I know what he's doing. And then as we were walking past, Dawn yells, what was it? It was Filthy Team Mystic. And I was like, you can't say that. They might be Team Mystic.
Our team had claimed that point. So I was like, no way.
Team Valor for life, by the way, guys. Just saying.
What about that Team Instinct, though? Come on.
No one counts that as a team.
No, it's very much a team. And it's on the path to victory.
Oh, is it? I see.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's red for life. What is red may never die. Yeah. Filthy. Game of Thrones just references. Wow. Yeah, I know. It's great. But that happened, so that was cool.
That was awesome.
A bunch of people found dead bodies, but we already knew about that. So
and everyone's talking about paedophiles using lures to lure out children. And, people stealing people's phones on purpose using Pokemon.
But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the fun part.
Sunshine.
So
like what have you caught? Like, who's
I hatched a seal. I went for Charmander because, unfortunately for me, I didn't hear about the Pikachu Easter egg until after I'd started. Yeah, and I was just like, oh. So if you guys at home don't know, when you start Pokemon Go, there's a little Easter egg in the game where when it comes to capturing your starter, if you walk away from the starters 5 times, so you get them show up, you walk away, they'll show up again wherever you are at the time. If you do that 5 times, on the 5th time you'll have a Pikachu show up that you can catch. And it's a reference to the TV show when Ash was late to catching his starter, and so there was only a Pikachu left, and that's why it's in the game, which is really cool.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so Dawn got herself a Pikachu. I hatched a seal from an egg, which was pretty cool. So I got a nice water type out of it.
Yeah, and it's pretty fun. It encourages us to go outside, I think. I was like, I want to go for a walk because I can catch a Pokemon.
Yeah, it was really cool. So we had fun, and we're gonna do it like go out and just like walk around whenever we got some free time, you know.
I wish I had that luxury.
Yeah, see,
I can't even go out later because I don't actually have like 3G where I live, so I have to, like, for example, on like a few days ago I went to Hereford, which is like the nearest like city, and I went around there for about 3 hours just catching Pokemon, just because I could, and it was amazing.
It's so fun.
It was so relaxing.
It's a productivity killer. Like I was so close to not editing like most of the weekly Whisper yesterday because of Pokemon Go. Like I almost went outside. For me, that's a big deal. Like
that is a big
everyone in my family jokes that I never leave my bedroom. And
same with my family.
It's basically
it's just
true.
The way of the nerd.
And yet Pokemon Go exists, and I just can't resist because Pokemon was my childhood, and I'm like, I need this in my life.
I'm waiting for the first like Pokemon couple who were like, oh yeah, I was catching a freaking Squirtle, and she sat down on the bench next to me, and that's when we knew.
That's a dream.
I'm waiting.
No, it's never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Because you know what the eventuality will be? They'll both catch the same Pokemon, and one will be like, "Oh, what team are you?" I'm Team Mystic.
And then,
oh, I can't date you now.
Yeah,
and then that'll happen.
No, but then it's like Romeo Juliet, Forbidden Love.
That's never gonna happen.
Okay.
Team Valor stands strong. Okay. This is why you don't get a choice. You are Team Valor, whether you like it or not.
Wow,
yeah,
that's exactly what I mean about these Team Valors.
Team Valor is the best.
Awful people.
No, we got to call Moltres. It's all good.
What about Zapdos though?
No, it's boring. Zapdos wasn't even the strongest.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Wow.
He was.
No, he wasn't. He was bad.
He really was. They're about all the same, to be honest.
He has a really 4 times weakness to rock.
So, what about Moltres' weakness to water? Because
if we're going like by single elements, then that's cheating. You know?
Well, no, because it's true.
Wow.
No.
Things are getting hot in here. It's going to be some gang warfare.
Gang warfare, yes.
Violence on the streets.
Jesus.
Yeah, we better move on to the next topic then before
I
something goes wrong.
Calm down, man. Calm down.
I see. All right, so the next thing we're going to discuss is SGDQ. So I don't know if either of you guys saw it.
I know
only little bits.
Only little bits. So I'm kind of I'm one of these people that will put a stream on and watch it for 6 hours just because I'm like that. And especially if it's AGDQ or just GDQ in general, all of them throughout the year, and I'll literally just put it on and watch. This year's SGDQ was the first and probably last year that had a full Bethesda run. So they did all of the Elder Scrolls games in order and live streamed. And it came out to about 2.5 hours to speedrun them all collectively.
That's crazy.
So all of the Elder Scrolls games done in 2.5 hours, and it was so good to watch. Oblivion was 7 minutes 30.
There was a bug, was there? You could go through the wall.
Yeah, so there was a bug with there was a bug in Oblivion where you could hold a bucket, and if you ran at a door, and then you could quick reload and it would bug out, which is insane. And what would end up happening is you just clip through the door and get into the final boss room.
Hacks, cheats.
From the first city, you'd get to the final boss. It's insane.
I don't know, I love speedruns, but when it's just hacks, I'm like, that's not really a show of skill.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed by
well, it's not supposed to be skilly. It's not supposed to be
I
skilled. It's just fast.
Fast.
Yeah, fast. But it was cool.
Sure.
It was really cool. There was some tons of cool games. The Donkey Kong runs were pretty fun to watch. Those were really cool. It's it had frame perfect runs everywhere. I watched a couple of Dark Souls runs as well.
Yeah.
Demon Souls was cool. Some of the commentators were just amazing. And they made so many funny jokes. It was incredible. And then
when is this on?
It's actually finished. So all the VODs are going up on the YouTube channel for Games Done Quick.
Right.
Which we'll also leave a link to in the VOD. But it was all of last week, and it was literally non-stop stream. So for almost a week, they had no gaps in between of just pure games being run, and it was so much fun. And then you had Trials Fusion.
Yeah.
So Trials Fusion was supposed to be speedrun at the event.
One does not simply.
It was not speedrun. It was just a showcase of levels. It wasn't fast. And the problem was it was in prime time for America, and it was 2.5 hours long. So it was in prime time for American viewers. It was 2.5 hours long, and it wasn't a speed run at a speedrun event.
Brilliant.
So that didn't go down well.
But like that game, you can't even try and speedrun it, can you? Because it's all to do with like the motion. And...
Yeah, like there's only so much you can do. You can't really like use exploits or anything like that. It's literally just a case of you're good at driving the frickin' bikes, and that's it. So yeah, it didn't go down too well. But I mean, hey, it was the rest of the event was beautiful. It was all good. Revan's been told off in the chat.
Oh, Revan.
I have been told off, yeah.
Bad Revan.
So, sorry, Zero. Yeah, we were talking about it. I just wanted to make sure that you all knew that it was over.
Yeah.
I hear it's on. He did say it's on.
Games Done Quick.
It's on different seasons, right? So they do like winter.
They do one
versions.
for spring, summer, and winter. And they also have like another one which is just called Awesome Games Done Quick, but I don't think that's every year. I think they do that separately. So
okay.
Yeah.
I need to watch out for those. Really, I should really watch them.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Some of those guys are so serious. Oh my god.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Evolve Stage 2.
Yeah.
So many of you will probably remember if you're PC gamers. The awful experience that was Evolve many years ago. So Evolve was a game where you had 4 humans and a monster, and the humans had to hunt down the monster and kill it, and you win. The game was initially priced at $60, with a season pass coming to $80.
Insane.
And they also released like every single character as a DLC back in the day. This is the original version we're talking about here, not the new version. So I'll explain the differences. So basically, they had DLC for pretty much every character. Everything was overpriced, and the game basically died. No one played it. It died out after I think 2 months, where their initial numbers were perfect. Like when they were doing the beta access, everyone was like, I love this game. This is like the coolest game that's come out in like years. And as soon as they announced the pricing option, everyone basically went, yeah, no, and left. No one played the game. And the developers have recently announced that it's going free to play. And they are redoing the entire game. Like they're fixing all the bugs and all this sort of stuff. Like they're re-releasing all the maps and the characters and stuff like that. And the thing is, the game is actually fun. It was always fun, but no one would play it because of how much it cost. You know, the Founders Edition of the game was $80. And the thing is the people that paid for the Founders Edition didn't get anything. Like they didn't get any of the extra DLCs afterwards, which was a really bad idea. But now that it's gone free to play, their like concurrent player base went up by 16,000% in one day. Wow. One day it went up 16,000%, and that's not like 1,600 and me just mispronouncing it. It literally was 16,000, which is insane for a game release. Yeah. And you know, the thing is the game is fun. It was always fun. It's just the pricing was the issue.
They kind of barred off a lot of players in a game that was about teamwork. So
Yeah.
I think that was their main mistake to start with. But it seems like so many people are trying it out now.
Yeah.
Zia's mentioned the matchmaking.
Yeah, so because in Evolve, the matchmaking was bad because there was no one playing the game. In Stage 2, the matchmaking is a little bit broken, but like it's generally a lot faster than it was in the original release.
Yeah.
But at the moment, because it's like it's in beta again, because they've obviously changed it to free to play, they're fixing a lot of the stuff that wouldn't work with free to play, you know, and reevaluating how they're going to do stuff. So like they've removed achievements, they've removed the majority of the characters and all of the maps except the default one. But they're adding them back in eventually. They're just trying to, you know, manipulate it because they changed a couple of skills on the characters as well. But from what I've played, it's still like really cool. You know, it's fun to like just go and hunt a monster down and then trap it in a dome and like murder it. It's great.
It's one of those games that's going to be way better with friends. I mean, I played a little bit of it, and I mean, it's great. It plays really well. It's a great concept.
It is.
It's very random with your classes, so you can choose your most wanted or liked class, but you change different classes
and the
anyway,
characters have different abilities as well, so like you can have a preference for a type of kit, and it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's gonna be awesome.
I'd recommend, if anyone hasn't played it yet, go and try it out. It's free. The download isn't too bad. I think it's like 20 gigabytes, which isn't that bad compared to most games nowadays. But it's fun. Like, I'd highly recommend you play it. If you want to play with any of us, I'm on Steam, so you can add me. You know, I have my Steam link on the bottom of this channel anyway. So that's something you can do. And I'd really recommend it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah. Right, so the next thing on the list is No Man's Sky.
I'll try not to go too crazy about this.
You'll try.
I'll try. I'll wait until the release of it.
Yeah.
To properly rant about it.
Yeah, so No Man's Sky has just gone gold, which is a big deal.
Oh yeah.
So No Man's Sky, people have been saying for basically since it was announced to be a thing that it was never going to happen and it was going to be the worst thing ever because like everyone was hyping it up too much. And very recently the developers showed an image on Twitter with them holding the disc. No Man's Sky is finished and is being pushed into the next stages of production, which will be like retail and manufacturing and stuff. It's done. And they're already started work on the next like stuff for it, you know, like the expansion that they're working on. It's already being worked on.
It's not an expansion, it's kind of an update.
Well, yeah.
Because they're not going to charge for it. So
it's like an extra feature basically. But it's done. And the thing is that's a big deal. I've seen gameplay of it and I'll link some in the VOD when we get around to it. I haven't got it handy on me at the moment. But like the gameplay looks pretty cool. Like there's a cool thing with like statues where like you'll go and you'll find statues from an ancient civilization and you have to work out what the right thing is to do. So like some of them you have to sleep in front of them. Some of them you have to talk to a particular creature that can't talk. It's really awesome. And
if you get it wrong, bad things happen.
Bad things happen.
You have to kind of guess because you don't know the alien language. So you've got to kind of learn the alien language, and you'll meet like NPCs in like the world that you're on.
Yeah.
And then you'll find them on different planets and everything. I'm so excited.
I think we all are. It's definitely my type of game. So
it's gonna be great.
It looks very similar. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. The game that was announced at E3, Horizon.
Yes.
The PlayStation game with the young girl who's like nomadic tribe. It has kind of that kind of feel to it, the exploration feature. It's got like elements of it, which I
can
think
see that.
It's pretty cool.
But,
yeah, it's really cool.
I'm gonna go on a massive rant on it probably when it comes out.
Yeah, when it comes out, we'll definitely have.
I've got some stuff lined up.
Now that you know it's done, you're just like, give it to me. I know it's there.
I know. Just pre-ordered that. I pre-ordered it ages ago, so I'm just waiting now.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing on the list is something that I've personally found, which is called Wizard of Legend. So if you guys haven't heard about what this is, it's a Kickstarter currently running. There's a week left on it, but it's a dungeon, like a roguelike dungeon crawler, but using magic, and you can combo different spells together, and it's really cool. And like I'd highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, to go like look it up, because it's basically, if you've ever played Magicka, it's kind of similar to that in style, but like way fast paced. Like, so you have to be like proper on your reactions.
Combat wizard, not standing from afar. And,
no, you are in there, like right next to all of the enemies. Imagine Enter the Gungeon mixed with Magicka. Like, imagine that kind of fast-paced action, but the same pixel style as Enter the Gungeon, but with Magicka like features. Like that is so good, and it has PvP coming out. You know, it's got like you can play with a friend in like co-op, which is really cool. And like it's just, I love games involving like magical combos and stuff where you can like combo different spells together. That's my thing. So it's effectively like that. And you know, it's $15 to pledge to get a key. It's only going for another 7 more days. But the best part is it's supposed to come out in January 2017, which is not that far away. You know, it's a couple of months left.
Not at all.
And the amount of work they've actually already done on it before they started the Kickstarter, like, it looks like a finished product already. That's how much work they put in before they even touched Kickstarter. And they only went for Kickstarter because they knew they'd need funding at some point. So it's like, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, it looks really nice. It looks like the sort of game you'd stream, Ash.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be really nice to watch that.
Yeah, that's something I really want to be able to stream sometime when it comes out, because it definitely looks right up my street. So so the next thing on the list, which is probably only going to apply to some of you, but you know, we'll see, we're actually going to talk about Fallout 4. So as you'll know, Fallout 4 didn't do amazingly with Fallout fans because it wasn't anything like they were expecting. Yeah. It was a lot more expensive than it should have been, in terms of what you got from it. But people were happy with the DLC that they were bringing out, you know, and the DLC looks interesting. The workshop DLC looks cool, where you can make like signs and things and stuff like that, so you can like have like, I don't know, your like people who live in your shelter, and you can attach them to like different mechanics and stuff like that, which is really cool. But they've just announced that Nuka World, which is meant to be like a theme park around the Nuka World company, is going to be their last DLC for Fallout 4. So they've said that's it, that's the last one. Once that's done, we're not doing any more DLC, we're only doing like bug fixes and like slight updates to the game. And you know, I wasn't like a massive Fallout 4 fan. I've played it because I streamed it for a little while, a couple of months ago. I don't know if you've played.
I've played a little bit of the opening segment as well, and it's just people are generally a bit meh.
It's a meh.
It's not bad. It's just a meh.
It's just a meh.
I've probably gone through more than you two have. So I'm at the bit where you're at the Institute.
Oh,
yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah,
you get there.
Yeah,
okay?
You are further than me, but not by much.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you're very right. You're pretty much right. It's not the best Fallout game at all.
Yeah.
But the DLC, like you said, has been amazing. I mean, the stuff like, for example, the one where, if I can find it, I'm Steam right now. The Vault Tech Workshop.
Yeah. The awesome. Workshop DLC was a fan favorite. Just because they like taking their most hated NPC and turning them into like basically a torture machine. Like they'd make a torture machine just for one particular NPC that they hated.
Brilliant.
Sounds like your kind of thing, actually.
Yeah, I need to bring it up.
You should get it, man.
So there's that. But yeah, I think the general consensus was just it's meh. And it's going to be meh forever now because...
Yeah, unless you add mods to it. Because to be honest, if you just add some mods, the Fallout game is pretty good. But...
I mean, that's always been the case with Bethesda games.
Yeah.
They're always better with mods. Like, the modding community around Bethesda is just insane. Like, people are still to this day making Skyrim mods.
Do you think that they made Fallout 4 like they have so that you could literally mod the hell out of it?
Yeah, they designed Fallout 4 so they could save themselves time and just release it and let the community do the work. Because it basically from the start had mod support, which has never happened in one of their games before, you know. Even Skyrim, which had the creation kit, took like a year to come out, and the creation kit for Fallout 4 is already out and has been for months, you know. So they definitely wanted to take modding to the forefront, especially after that paid mods thing. Yikes!
How much was Fallout 4 originally?
It was not cheap. It was, I think it was
at least 50.
It was at least 50. Yeah. I think that's dollars though. I think it was like $60 release, and then like the DLC was extra $80 for
$80?
which is insane.
Because I remember buying it for about £50, I think, because I bought it very close to release, but still haven't played it properly.
Yeah, which is insane for any game alone. That's a ridiculous amount of money.
But then it's a huge amount of content. If you
that's true.
Making games, it's like the huge amount of quest text you have to make as well, and all the world.
Oh yeah, all of those like generic text responses.
Go kill 10 of these.
No, ignore.
Well, you can get a mod for that. That's the point.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mods are
like even basic functionality such as naming your dog. Where did that go? You know,
there's probably a mod for that too.
Oh yeah, there is. I'm sure there is. But you know, the fact that wasn't in the base game, like who thought of that?
I know, that's ridiculous.
But hey, enough rambling about Fallout 4. So we'll move on to the next subject, which is something that I'm kind of more interested in than probably any of you guys.
Oh, are you gonna rant again?
I'm not gonna rant. So Team Fortress 2. I used to play Team Fortress 2 competitively. You know, this is the game that got me onto Steam. Okay, so I have like so many memories of playing this game and the community around it. You know, like I've made so many friends from playing Team Fortress 2. But I haven't played Team Fortress 2 in about 2.5 to 3 years now. Probably less than that. I'm not very good with like years in terms of like time spent playing. But they finally announced competitive mode coming out. Now, competitive mode has been coming since before I quit, which is a long time ago. It's been a while. I actually quit TF2, played Dota for 2 years competitively, and then quit Dota and then moved on to like Overwatch. So it's been a while, and they finally announced competitive. And it is not good. So the actual idea of competitive is not bad. You know, it's the same modes, 9v9, 6v6, that sort of stuff. The stuff we were expecting, you know. The problem is that they took out so many commands from the game. So these are like console commands that players would use to optimize their game to be the best it could be to play competitively. Valve removed all of them, pretty much. All of the important commands, gone. The FOV in the game used to be something that was really important for competitive players, so they'd make the models for the weapons longer, like further out, but smaller. Like, they took up less screen space, because the default models are very close to your face when you're playing, and so everyone changed them, even people who didn't play competitive. The problem is Valve locked basically the FOV to be a specific distance away from your screen, and you can't change it in competitive, which is very bad. And so basically what that means is that, you know, everyone who played competitive before competitive mode was a thing had their very specific way of doing it, and it's been like completely removed.
Yeah, so it's completely changed the game for competitive players.
Yeah.
Which is,
so people are more likely going to play the way they did before, which is have third parties do the competitive tournaments and have their own configs and stuff. But like, it's not gone well. It's not gone well at all.
Oh. Is this the end then for competitive?
I don't
think they're going to change it, or are they going to...
I think Valve's stance on TF2 has been very specific. Like, they don't like changing things. They only change stuff if it's like really bad and like it was the worst possible thing they could have done, which they have done. They've reverted stuff in like before, but I think they'll probably change it just because of like how much of an outcry there was. But we'll see. You know, we don't know.
I just find it weird because it's a decision they must have thought about for a very long time, like carefully planned out. How did they not see that it was gonna do that to
the worst part is they had competitive players like play test this for like months and months. They were play testers and they all said it was great, and then they only rolled out the config changes when it went live public. and that's when the issues arose. But yeah, I think they'll change some stuff, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. All right, next up on the list, and this is like the most important part of this entire stream, and if you're still here by now,
it's amazing.
Well done. We're going to be discussing the NES Mini. So all of you gamers out there will know what the NES is. If you don't and you're too young, that's fine. It was basically a console, very much like, you know, the PlayStation or the Xbox and stuff like that. But Nintendo have re-released one of their original consoles, the Nintendo Entertainment System. They've brought out a smaller version with 30 of the best games for that system back. They've released it again, and they're going to be releasing that in November of this year, and it's going to have 30 of the best NES games on it. You're going to be able to just plug it into your monitor and go, and it can use the old original NES controllers.
Oh, wow.
And it's only going to cost $60.
It's going to be a good year for them.
And, like, just imagine, that's 34 games from the NES system, like Super Mario Bros., Castlevania, Donkey Kong, you know, Mega Man. Like, they're incredible, and they're all for $60. Like, it's insane. Like, so you can tell what Nintendo's Christmas thing is going to be. It's this.
Yeah.
But I don't have enough money to throw at Nintendo to make this happen sooner. If I did, I would be. I would be throwing them so much money.
A lot of parents are going to buy it for their children. Like, oh, I used to play these games. Pass it on to the next generation as a Christmas present. So, they've done well with their marketing.
It's insane. And they've fixed, like, so many issues with the original console. So you can, like, save the game. All of the multiplayer actually works now, because there were some bugs with some old games where they didn't work properly. And it's HDMI as well. So it's like, give me now, please? Yes. So
I need this in my life.
Yeah, it's something that should have been done many years ago. Plus, you've currently got on sale, I think, until 2 weeks' time. You have the original Pokemon games on sale for the 3DS as well. So you've got Pokemon Go, the original Pokemon games on sale on the 3DS, and you have a NES Mini system coming out. How much more does Nintendo?
Remember the new Pokemon?
Oh yeah, well. New Pokemon. Yeah. So, like, how much more does Nintendo want to do to bankrupt me? It's not fair. But yeah.
Bankrupt a lot of people this year.
Yeah, and they've added compatibility for all of the controllers, as Ruka said. So, like, the Wii and the Wii U, all supported. It should be coming out in every country. This is what I've heard. So I know for a fact it's coming out in the UK because Nintendo UK posted it themselves. It's definitely coming out in Europe because Nintendo Europe posted about it, and it's obviously coming out in the US because Nintendo. So it's going to be so freaking awesome, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of that. I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped.
Can't contain the hype.
That's going to be so good.
And it'll be good for you as well, because you never really played those games.
No, I never really got into gaming until I was, like, early teens, I guess. So I used to play Spyro, but I was a lot younger then. Serious gaming came a lot later.
Yeah, so we'll
I started
see.
with PS1, so it's quite nice
I started with the Game Boy Color, so I started with Pokemon Crystal as my first ever game. Best decision ever.
I think that really is a good decision.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. And to end of the stream, because it's approaching time, we're going to do the question of the week. So this week's question is a really cool one, actually. It's, is too much hype bad for games and the dev teams? So we're going to put a straw poll up of that in just a second. So yeah, what's your opinion on, like, games being hyped up?
Is it damaging for the developers, or is it in the end a positive thing?
Yeah.
Because it can put a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah, so, like, you know, do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Because obviously you have stuff like, you know, No Man's Sky, which was hyped into oblivion. And, like, it still is, yeah. But it could be detrimental to the game when it releases, you know. we'll have to see how it works. Like, I personally think hype can be bad, but I think it's very like dependent on the game and stuff like that.
But it's to do with like how you imagine it's going to be, and if your expectations are so high when you play it, you're just like, well, I've been waiting so long for this, and it's just not worth it. It's a very sad feeling.
It is, yeah. It is, yeah. So, I guess, so looking at the votes, it just skewed. It just skewed on the straw poll. The winner of the poll was, it depends. So I think that's reasonable. I think all of us agree that's what we think. We had 40% of the votes say yes, though, so it's sort of along those lines of it depends on the situation and stuff like that. But yeah, so I agree. I think it's dependent on the games. Like, look at Watch Dogs. That was pretty hyped up, and then the end result was awful.
The thing is, EA like hype their own games up so much and promise things which they're not actually going to deliver. So it's partly their own fault. But
Yeah, I agree.
You got to be careful.
Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah.
With some games.
All right then. So the next thing is we're going to do the giveaway now. So if you want to enter, we're going to do a keyword today. So if you want to enter, the keyword you have to use is switch cars, and it will be pasted like so in the chat. So if you want to enter the giveaway, please type that so we can see in the chat if you want to enter, and we'll pick a winner. So make sure you all go spam that command, and it'll be amazing. We can thank Zio for this. So Zio has kindly donated a bunch of game keys for us to give away on the podcasts. So that's really awesome. That's really awesome. And we've got more coming as well. Zio. Yeah, so thanks to Zio for supporting the podcast. That's
it's really nice.
It's a real nice thing to have, So, one mention that I will put out is that we're going to try and do the podcast next week on Dawn's Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Dawnwhisper Gaming. I'll put that in the chat as well, just so you know where it is. We're going to try doing it on Dawn's channel. We're going to see how that goes. Nothing's going to change. The setup will be exactly the same. It's just, it'll be done on Dawn's channel instead. So so we're gonna pick the winner now. So hopefully you're all hyped for this. So the winner is. Are you prepared for the giveaway?
No.
All right, I'm rolling, and the winner is Ruik. Hey. Congratulations!
Ruik!
You have won a game. It is Switch Cars. It's really cool. It's like It's weird. It's kind of like one of those like auto driving games, but it's about space and all that sort of stuff. And so you'll really enjoy it.
And the weirder the better with games.
The weirder the better.
Yeah.
It's so true. Yeah, so I'll make sure to get you your game key. Make sure you guys spread the word about the podcast, because it'd be really nice if we could have more people around for the giveaways, because we want to support everyone who's supporting us.
Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah. So thanks for coming along, guys. We hope you had fun. We'll see you guys next week, 7:30 BST on Wednesday, as normal. I know this week's wasn't at the right time, but we'll do it next week, Wednesday, 7:30 BST on Dawn's channel. I'll link it again after we go and end the podcast. Hopefully you all had fun, and we'll see you guys really, really soon. So thanks for coming along.
Right, thanks, guys. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.